I'll just say it really doesn't get much better than this, and we're making history. I was around for Artemis I, and this one, I think for us, and I know probably for you too, this one feels a lot different. Putting crew on the rocket and taking the crew around the moon. This is going to be our first step toward a sustained lunar presence.
For the first time in more than 50 years, humans are preparing to travel back towards the moon. NASA's Artemis II mission, the agency's first crewed lunar flight since the Apollo era, could launch as early as the first week of February. If it does, it will mark a historic return to deep space, taking astronauts farther from Earth than any humans have ever traveled. Before we get into what the Artemis mission is and what it means for humanity, take a moment to subscribe to our channel Down to Earth for regular updates on science, environment, and development. Artemis II is a critical step in NASA's Artemis program, coming just before Artemis III, which aims to return astronauts to the moon's surface later this decade. Before that can happen, NASA must prove its new systems are safe for humans in deep space, and that is the role of Artemis II. The mission will be the first crewed flight of NASA's Space Launch System rocket and Orion spacecraft. 4 astronauts will spend about 10 days looping around the moon and back to Earth without landing. The SLS and Orion were tested once before during the uncrewed Artemis I mission in 2022. That flight carried only sensor-equipped mannequins collecting data on vibration, acceleration, and radiation, data Artemis II will now build upon with a human crew aboard. At the Kennedy Space Center in Florida, NASA's primary launch site, preparations are on to launch Artemis II. On Saturday, NASA rolled out the massive SLS rocket and Orion capsule from the Vehicle Assembly Building to the launch pad, a 4-mile journey that took nearly 12 hours. Engineers will now begin final preparations, including connecting electrical systems, fueling infrastructure, and environmental controls. Later this month, NASA will conduct a wet dress rehearsal, a full test in which the rocket is loaded with propellant. Any problems could delay the launch and require the rocket to be rolled back for repairs. If all goes well, the launch could take place as early as February 6th. During the mission, astronauts Reed Weissman, Victor Glover, and Christina Koch of NASA, along with Canadian astronaut Jeremy Hansen, will fly thousands of miles beyond the moon's far side. The Orion spacecraft will follow a free return trajectory, using the moon's gravity to sling the crew back towards Earth. At its farthest point, Orion will travel about 4,700 miles beyond the moon, farther than any crewed spacecraft before. Along the way, astronauts will test life support, navigation, and communication systems while wearing sensors to track how their bodies respond to deep space radiation. The mission's most striking moment may be the view. The crew will dedicate about a day to observing the moon, especially its far side, which can't be seen from Earth. After re-entry, the crew will splash down off the coast of California. Even then, the mission won't be over. Post-flight tests, including simulated spacewalks, will help NASA prepare for Artemis III and eventually missions beyond the moon.
So real quick to conclude here, our integrated research campaign for Artemis II builds upon what we learned in Artemis I, and it sets the stage for successful exploration of the moon and ultimately onto Mars.